Hi everyone, it's Miss Chris from Herrick District Library. Today I would like to show you how to use a glossary and an index that are located in a book. Typically, the index and the glossary are located in the back of a nonfiction book, and they are there to help you find information about certain topics that you are looking for. A glossary, here's my definition of the glossary. A glossary is like a specialized dictionary that is specific to the book that it's in. So it's going to pick up on keywords that you might read as you go along, and it helps define them if you don't understand what they mean. It's a list that's also in alphabetical order, just like the index. And an index, which is also in the back of the book, is an alphabetical order list of keywords that you can find in the text, but it tells you what page number you can find things on. So for example, if you're looking for, like in our book where I'm going to show you in the video, if you're looking for nebulas, you go back to the index, you check under the letter N, and it's alphabetical order, and when you find the word nebula, you should find some page numbers that tell you what pages you can find information on nebulas on. And if you see some page numbers that are in italics, that's an extra bonus because that means those are pages that you can find a picture of a nebula on. So have a look at our video and let me know what you think about using the glossary and the index. Well, let's see here. I've been given an assignment that is out of our First Space Encyclopedia book here. So the assignment tells me right up here, says to turn to page 124, pick 3 questions to answer, and then use the index and or the glossary to explain how you got your answer. So let's see here. Let's turn to page 124. We'll take a look at this quiz. All right, so here's our quiz. And I've already chosen a few questions here. So the first question that I'm going to try to answer is number 14, which is right over here. It's showing the Horsehead Nebula. And it says, a nebula is a cloud in space made up of, and there are 4 answers here. So is it made up of A, gas and vapor, B, ice and vapor, or C, dust and ice, or D, gas and dust? Well, let's see. The best way to find this answer is to flip to the back. And right here on page 132, here's our index. It says index up here. So let's see. We're looking up things about nebulas. So you see all the letters of the alphabet and goes through M on this page. So we're going to look under N for the word nebula. Oh, there is our word nebula. It says you can find things about nebulas on page 4, 88, or 102. So let's take a look at page number 4 first. We'll leave our hand back here in the quiz so we know where we're going. And we're going to flip to page 4 and see what it tells us. Let's see, page 4. Let's see where on this page is anything about a nebula. Let's see here. There's a little something here. It says a planetary nebula is a colorful cloud of gas and dust ejected by a dying star. And it explains that this picture is the Helix Nebula. It's about 650 light years away. And the picture was from NASA's Spitzer Space Telescope. So I think right here on page 4 gave us our answer because they want to know what a nebula is a cloud in space made up of. And it looks like our answer is going to be, let's see, it says gas and dust. And which answer was gas and dust? And that is D. So we're going to write down D here. We're going to move our book. So our answer to question 14 is D. And that is gas and dust. And we found that on page 4. So we're going to write that down. So isn't this index coming in handy? All right. Next up, I have chosen to answer question number 5. Number 5 is this one right here. The question is, a supernova occurs when a star, here's our answers, A is dying, B is born, C burns hydrogen, or D burns helium. So let's see, once again, let's check the glossary first and see if there's anything there about a supernova. So here's our glossary. Let me move my book. There's our glossary. Let's see if supernova shows up here at all. Let's see, it's alphabetical too. There's asteroid, solar system, space, spacecraft, sun, telescope. All right, so there's nothing in the glossary about supernovas. So let's check our index. Back to our index and the S section, and we're going to look under supernova. Oh, there we go. There's our word supernova, and it says on page 88 and 105. Let's take a look at page 88. This picture looks a lot like this picture that's in the quiz. So there is our supernova. So what was our question again? Our question again was, a supernova occurs when a star, and let's see what it tells us here. There's a supernova here. It says, mysteries such as how stars are born in nebula and die in supernova are gradually being solved with the help of incredibly powerful telescopes, but there's a long way to go. Ooh, it sounds like a supernova occurs when a star dies, but let's check that page 105 a minute and see if there's anything else we need to see about that. Let's see here. The death of a star. Here we go. I'm looking. Stars are born, live out their lives, and ultimately die. In dying, all their elements are thrown back into the clouds of gas which they are formed, and the process begins again. Let's see, I'm going to read along here and see what it's telling me about the supernova. Here we go. Going out with a bang. Some giant stars end their lives with a huge explosion called a supernova. There we go. There is the answer to our question. And it was on page 88 and 105. So let's go back to page 124. All right, so our answer to question number 5 is A. And that's when a star is dying. And we found that on page 88 and 105. All right, let's see, I've picked one more question to answer, and I've chosen question number 7 here about these telescopes. And it says, the question is, what are the twin Keck telescopes designed to detect? A, light, B, sound, C, X-rays, or D, radio waves? All right, here we go, back to the index. And the term we're going to look under is Keck, K-E-C-K, telescope. So let's see. There's our glossary again. Let's see, J and K. Here we go. Right here it says Keck telescope is on page 10. All right. Let's get over to page 10 and see what it tells us. All right, here are the twin Keck telescopes, just like in our picture here. Let's see. So let's see what the Keck telescope is supposed to detect. Oh, I see it right here. It says 2 of the world's largest light detecting telescopes are the twin Keck telescopes. All right, so that just told us that the Keck telescope is a light detecting telescope. And the answer to that is A. So let's see. So it's A, light, and we found that on page 10. So as you see, the glossary and the index can both be of a lot of help when you are doing a research project. Well, thanks for watching my video on how to use a glossary and an index in the back of a nonfiction book. I really hope this information helps you the next time you have a research project. Thanks for watching again. We'll see you at the library.